Alright, the 2025 Tamashii Nations Figure Festival has come and gone, and there has been a lot of new developments, specifically in the Dragon Ball world of S.H.Figuarts, which is what I'm going to talk about today, and one or two other little things that kind of caught my eye that may actually make me dabble into other lines. Hopefully not. I'm broke as it is trying to keep up with the Dragon Ball line, but that's neither here nor there. Now, I wish Tamashii had actually uploaded a lot of the other displays that were not being shown on their Instagram page, where I could just simply go to the Instagram page for Tamashii Nations, which is Instamashii, as you see here. If you're not following Instamashii, you should, because they typically post a lot of stuff first before anybody else when it comes to, new product release. I mean, they should, right? It's their product. I digress. You can already kind of see you can already kind of see what we're going to be talking about. But we got to start off with one of the first things that they showed off at Tamashii Nations 2025. And that is the S.H.Figuarts Super Saiyan Goku Legendary Super Saiyan, I'm going to butcher this, I know I am, Genkidamatsuri, which is essentially a manga-accurate version of the Legendary Super Saiyan Son Goku, with the correct styling of the hair, blood, and paint, just all sorts of paint applications. Like I said, the blood, the inking that they're using for the battle damage, and then here you can kind of see like they've put in a little bit of shading, or at least they've applied a matte finish to it. It looks really good. And Rocco here said, didn't Black Hole Toys do this earlier this year? In fact, they did. If you go here and search for you look for the Black Hole Toys Super Saiyan Goku, there it is. So yes, Tamashii Nations is pulling another, I say they're pulling another, which one did they copy just recently? We talked about it before. Yes, they're pulling another Gogeta, they're pulling another Broly, taking ideas and everything that the third-party companies are producing, and then turning around and making it for themselves. Mind you, yes, they are quote-unquote copying, but then they become the copier of the copier who's copying them, if that makes sense. Anyways, I digress. So yes, and whoop, wrong tab. And yes, so we are finally getting this, and I think that this is a very solid-looking figure. I believe over here, 86 Reviews. Shout out to 86 Reviews. If you are not following 86 Reviews, you need to. He is a phenomenal reviewer. He is an inspiration to me, and I hope to be as good as him one day. Anyways, you can see the Goku in hand, or at least in person. From what I understand, they did not have any kind of glass display, like separating the figure from the audience, so they were able to get up real close with their cameras and take photos of these figures. And this looks really good. This is something that I wish Tamashii would do more of, and I think there's an issue with how licensing works, and when they can produce a figure when it has blood and other sorts of battle damage to it, it becomes kind of a gray, murky area. But here they were able to get the okay, which I imagine from Shueisha, Toei, whoever owns the rights to the manga. They were able to get permission from them to be able to produce this specific version of Goku. So I think this looks really good. I think if this is the last 40th anniversary figure we get, I think that this is a solid one to wrap out the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball. And just so I know, let's see here. What is Genkidamatsuri? So let me take this. I'm going to copy this. We're going to do it live. How to pronounce. You can see I've already done it. It's not like I'm, So first of all, I know AI is lying out its ass. It's not Jinky, it's Genki. Genkidama to Suri. Or Suri. I don't know. Even then, I don't think that's right. And, y'all, y'all can correct me, just like most of y'all would probably like to correct me about how I pronounce Tamashii. I know it's Tamashii. I've listened to Jack Atlas plenty of times watching the sub of 5Ds, and all he spouts about is his Tamashii. So, yes, I'm aware. Anywho, moving on before I get too far off into a rant, let's take a closer look at something else. Now, real quick, Cyclops and Spider-Man have already been announced. The Spider-Man alone is kind of enough already to make me want to get into the line, but they announced one of my other favorite Marvel superheroes, Wolverine, and this thing looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, I think it looks really good, and it, again, seems to be based off of the GamerVerse, which is going to be, what, Marvel vs. Capcom, so this looks really good. I think that they are doing a phenomenal job with this GamerVerse Marvel line that they're trying to produce, and I may have to get into it. Alright, what else do we got here? Well, let's talk about the two new Gokus we're getting. First off, let's recap what I talked about previously with the new Super Saiyan Goku that they recently announced, which, you know, you go here, or recently announced, they recently released, I should say. But you can see this is the standard moving forward, right? This is what Goku is going to be for any subsequent release of a quote-unquote 3.0 iteration of this Goku with the Cell Games attire. Now, obviously, this is not a 3.0. This would technically be our second iteration of the Super Saiyan God Goku. Either way, I don't want to get too far into the weeds because it's already a mess trying to argue with people in the comments section and just in general about what iteration we are on. This is technically, again, going to be our second iteration of Super Saiyan God, and this looks more accurate even when you compare it to the original Super Saiyan God that we got back in 2015, 2016. I'll have a picture of that posted up beside it, and it has the right proportions in my opinion. It's going to be using the same technology off of the new Super Saiyan Goku, and it looks really good. Now, I wanted to wait and talk about it more because I wanted more promotional photos to talk about than just one photo. But as they've said, the commercialization of the S.H.Figuarts Super Saiyan God Son Goku God Aura has been decided. It is making its world premiere exhibition at Tamashii Nations 2025. Please look forward to further updates, which are scheduled to be released at a later date. So this is confirmed, but I just wanted more photos to actually talk about and really dive into that figure, which I believe, where is it? I believe. So Rakshala has both photos that you can, or at least two photos that you can take a look at. This figure was on display, as Tamashii Nations mentioned, and it looks really good. It really... The head sculpts remind you of the ZK, I believe it's ZK, the ZK Customs. Let's take a look. ZK Customs Super Saiyan God head sculpt. Yeah, it really reminds you of the ZK Customs head sculpts, and I think that's what Tamashii is going for when they're producing this figure here. Like they again, OB, the community manager for Tamashii Nations, has to write up reports on all of this third-party stuff. So they're going to see what the third party is doing, and they're going to go, oh yeah, we could definitely do something like that. I mean, we could definitely one-up them, which I think 2026 is shaping up to be Tamashii's comeback year after releasing all this Daima stuff, releasing all of this Namek Saga stuff. Like, we're finally starting to creep into the realms of more modern releases that people are really wanting, one of which we'll talk about in just a minute. I think they're releasing it just a little too late, but that's besides the point. But as you can see, Goku looks really, really good. And the faces, y'all, I've got the new Goku in hand, and I'm looking at the faces for the Super Saiyan Goku, excuse me, and it looks really solid. And Tamashii is really stepping up their print work, and just, I don't know, this is a new page for Tamashii. This one looks really good, and then the other one that I am super excited for, and that 86 Reviews himself says that we're finally getting a accurate blue hair sculpt Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Now, again, much like the Super Saiyan God Goku, the commercialization of the S.H.Figuarts Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, Son Goku. Let me try that again. The commercialization of S.H.Figuarts Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Son Goku, Blue Power Transcending Limits, I cannot wait to read that off the box, has been decided. It is making its world premiere exhibition at Tamashii Nations 2025, and look forward to future updates. This looks awesome. Like I said, they're going to be cranking out release after release for Goku here to get us, you know, some updated molds and everything, or updated versions of these iconic transformations for Goku. So we love to see it. Rock Jala, if I didn't say you should go follow him, you should. Rock Jala has a picture of that Super Saiyan God Goku, or Super Saiyan Blue Goku, excuse me. He has it posted up, and you can kind of see what the Go kanji looks like and everything. Now that they've printed a logo or printed a symbol on Goku's gi, this is what it's going to look like. And it appears, yeah, it is still using a deep V-cut shirt for Goku, which is nice. So, I love the extra bang piece. I really wanted a Super Saiyan Blue renewal of the original Resurrection F Goku, so that way, you know, Tamashii could copy Demonical Fit one more time for the umpteenth time. But I will take this. The hair sculpt looks phenomenal, and the actual display, I have to find a picture of it, but it's him fighting against Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. So, doesn't have it here, unfortunately, but Goku Black, hopefully soon, TM, especially if they're going to be using like a slender arm design like they did here for this Goku. I think it looked really, really good. So that is another win. I'm excited to see this in person when it finally releases, get some more information on it, and then go from there. Now, for all my Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there, they have officially announced Kaiba. Now, whether or not they are going to start production of them, when that'll happen is to be determined. But if Yu-Gi goes well, I imagine Kaiba will also go really well. That's another thing I want to like really iterate and recap here. A lot of this is speculation on when it's going to release, or even if it is going to release, because there is no official release date slapped onto these figures. And we've seen time and time again, they've shown us the original base form Vegeta with that updated Android Saga head sculpt that never got released. They kept teasing that. They've teased us, you know, with that Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. They've teased us with that Super Saiyan 4, the original God Goku. Like, all these prototypes, Champa, how about that one, Champa? All of these prototypes just have never made it to production. So, I'm hoping, although Kaiba is probably the second most iconic character in Yu-Gi-Oh, let's be real, he's probably going to get a release, and I'm excited for that. So, moving on. Now, I'm a big fan of Gundam, but I've owned one metal, it's a Gundam Fixed Figuration metal composite. I've owned one metal composite Gundam model or Gundam action figure in my life, and it was the Death Scythe from, I think, back in 2023 or 2024. And I saw reviews of it, and I thought it just looked like absolute cheeks. Like, it looked good. The cheeks part was having to sit there and actually to articulate and get the figure to transform and stuff. That was enough to say, I'm selling this hunk of shit. But if you've been living under a rock, or you're like me and you grew up with Gundam Wing, then there's a soft spot for your very first Gundam anime. This is that anime. And, or at least this is that show, right? Now, one of the complaints I have, or nitpick I should say, is that they call it Wing Gundam Zero. This isn't Wing Zero. This is technically, I believe, Snow White, Gundam Snow White, based off of the coloration. This is probably going over all of y'all's head, but this is supposed to recreate his appearance from the 30th anniversary quote-unquote teaser trailer that they did, and now they're putting it into figure form, and then they had the gall to put Heavy Arms, Sandrock custom, Death Scythe Hell custom, and Ultron custom into, or I think it's just Gundam Ultron technically. They had the gall to put him into little capes, little cloaks. It's kind of goofy, y'all, but I don't know. I'm hoping and praying that Gundam does really well. The wing stuff does really well for the 30th anniversary, that they decide, you know what? We've done a bunch of IBO, we've done a bunch of Hathaway and Seed. Why don't we give the Wing fans what they want? Because, dude, Wing is so popular in the West. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, it's Babby's first anime. Idgaff. Wing is a cultural phenomenon in the United States because it is the first Gundam series that took hold in the West, and is what propelled Gundam to what it is today. In my opinion, I believe, is what has made Gundam so successful is because of the Western audience. So, this is already for sale on Premium Bandai. Here's the other issue with that. Where are you at? Where are you at, Wing? There you are. Yeah, $380. It looks really good, though. It looks really good. I really like the way it looks. I think it probably transforms into the Neo Bird mode. And there's the... oh my god, those are the 7 dwarves. I think it's missing one. That, or... Again, it's probably using the same armament as the... yeah, it's using the same armament as the Wing Zero from the Glory of the Losers manga, but this looks more like Gundam Snow White, which I'll show. Here's what that looks like. Yeah. But it has green sabers instead of purple. I guess that's what makes it... I guess that's what makes it different, right? Or what makes it different. Sure. Anyways, it's beautiful. Beautiful figure. I don't think it's justified for $380, but it's still pretty cool. If my old lady found out that I bought that, she'd probably be pissed. Anyways, let's move on. What else do we have here that we can talk about? Yes. Okay, Tamashii, you did your boy a solid. There's another picture of the Super Saiyan God Goku, and here's him squaring off against the Beerus figure, which Beerus probably needs an update here pretty soon. And typically, as they start to display some of these figures, they start to roll out newer, updated versions of the figures. So, yeah. So, Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black is probably going to get some type of a renewal later down the road. God, I hope so. And then there is the Kind-Hearted Saiyan. So, that is going to be 3 releases where they're reusing the Kind-Hearted Saiyan, or, the Super Saiyan Goku body, the Games Begin Goku body. They're going to be using that. And then here is the... What is it? The Tamashii Nation store exclusive Ultra Instinct Goku, which looks really good. I'm excited. I'm waiting for my contact. I say contact. I'm waiting for my my eBay friend to get them in stock so I can buy them from him. We're not technically friends, but he is the guy I went to before, and probably who I'll continue to buy these toy exclusives for, because, well, a reliable experience. Yep, you can see there's the Goku in the middle, and you can see how it's branched off. I'm just just pulling shit out of my ass. But you can see how this one figure is, or at least Goku in general, is branched out into different events in Dragon Ball history, and just the added addition of the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue, and then the base form Goku is going to make a world of a difference. So, hats off to you, Tamashii. And then, there we go. Here's another photo of that 40th anniversary Goku. I should have just done it from here. I should have just taken a look at it from here. I didn't realize it. I must have overlooked it. Anyways, looks really good. I do own Toguro and Yusuke, so seeing a Kurama, which they've announced, and they've showed off all the accessories, looks really good. I'm excited for that. There's another photo of Wolverine, and there's that GamerVerse Spider-Man along with the Cyclops. So, like I said, I might have to dip into that line. I'm going to be broke before you know it. There's Jotaro, which looks pretty good. And there is Joseph, and then Jonathan. These are slated to come out December, January, February, ? So, I'm excited to get these in hand. I'm excited, for sure. And then there's, I guess that's a movie for all the Gundam stuff that they had showing off. And I believe that's really it. Except, Tamashii didn't show off, and here anyways, did not show off their main attraction, I say, the side attraction for the S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball line. And that is a brand new Z-Fighters inspired Gohan, which I'm going to do this number so I can take a look at it again. There we go. A Z-Fighters inspired Gohan, which looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks great. It looks to be more in scale with the other Z-Fighters. And if you notice, it's hard to see because 86 has this lettering in the way, but you can kind of see that the knees are similar to that of the brand new Krillin that's coming out later next year, or early next year, I should say. So this looks pretty good. We'll let the camera roll, see if we can get any other shots of what's coming later down the line while I take a sip of my beverage. Alright, so there's two things here. We have Goku, the kind-hearted Saiyan. Here's what that base form is going to look like. And the gi is definitely a slightly darker orange. And the head sculpt for Goku looks really good. But you can see here in the background, this is probably the main attraction. A jacketless base form Trunks. Now, what was I saying about Tamashii copying the copiers? Well, here we are. And unless it gets announced, which they did not say anything on the official Tamashii Instagram. They did not say anything. This is why this is all speculation. Take everything with a grain of salt. But we are finally getting a Trunks that is accurate to the intro. And if we go back to Rockchala's Instagram, he has a picture of Trunks up close. Now, one thing I noticed from looking at the picture here, I pray and I hope it is not going to be difficult to swap out the pants, the legs, to be able to put the arms into, put his hands into his pockets, right, to swap that out. I haven't reviewed it. I'm so backlogged, but the GT Trunks is such a letdown at the fact that you had to take those pants, take the pants legs off and then put the pants legs on where you could put the hands into the pocket. I think Tonson nailed it with that aspect of being able to put the, just take that little cover and then put it onto the legs, and it looks kind of seamless, right? My only concern, so it's definitely going to be one of those figures you would have to buy two of. One to recreate the Z Fighters intro display, or the Chala Head Chala intro, and then obviously you would have one to actually pose around and stuff. And I hope, and I imagine, I say I hope and pray, but I imagine that the heads will be compatible, so that means we'll have more faceplates for the original Boy from the Future, and then we can put the Super Saiyan head sculpt on this Trunks and have a more modern or accurate looking Trunks as he comes back from the past to the future to kill the androids. So that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I really do like that. And then lastly, as I told y'all, they are going to be giving us a updated base form Vegeta. Now, I said originally in the news update video when talking about the kind-hearted Saiyan, they're going to be giving us a brand new Vegeta eventually with the base form head. If we're following this trend with these figures getting an updated mold, getting updated appearances, then this is next for Vegeta. That's my firm belief, and hopefully that means we would get an updated Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and also a Super Saiyan God Vegeta, which, oh my goodness, I wish they would do that so bad, because it would be so easy to take the Daima body and just put the Super Saiyan God head on it, and it would look right. Because when you look at the manga and the source material, he's slender enough that he can pull it off. But this looks more accurate to the Cell games, and I like it a lot better than the Daima Vegeta because the hair is more stylized, it has more lines, it looks more defined, doesn't look flat, it looks really, really good. So again, thank you to 86 Reviews and Rockchala for grabbing pictures of these figures. This is all very exciting stuff, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait to actually get these figures in hand, if they do. Again, everything in the Z Fighters display didn't get any kind of real confirmation that they're making it, so I would take that with a grain of salt again, but I could be looking at it wrong. Everything that's being displayed at Tamashii Nations 2025 is officially scheduled to be released, so we shall see. Anywho, I hope y'all enjoyed the news. This was a bit of a long video, I should say, but I appreciate you stopping by, and hopefully, as they release more information on the figures that are scheduled to be released, we can talk more about it in depth as far as what they come with, what we're going to expect out of the figure, and what the price is going to be. Ultimately, I think Dragon Ball fans, specifically Goku fans, are going to be eating pretty damn good for the next year. This just looks so good. And I know there are people that didn't like the Super Saiyan Blue Goku head sculpt, the original one, because it was like too flat, you know, and it's just a reused, it is a reused Super Saiyan Rose Goku head sculpt from the 2018 release of Goku Black. But this looks more accurate. This looks really good, and I think it looks better. Like, if this was to also be recolored or redesigned for a Super Saiyan, or reused, I should say, reused for a Super Saiyan full power Goku, it would work pretty damn well too. But there's probably more to the little bang piece than I'm aware of. So hopefully y'all found this interesting. Let me know which one you're excited for. I know there's a bunch here that I skipped over, like the Saint Seiya, the Kamen Rider stuff, Star Wars. Like, I'm just mainly looking at what does it for me. And my top 3 animes of all time are Gundam Wing, Dragon Ball Z, Yu-Gi-Oh, and then a little bit of Yu Yu Hakusho, and then also definitely do like Naruto, which I'm not too invested into that line. I've only got like 3 figures, but if you really like the Naruto line, they're going to be eating pretty good too, at least from these 2 releases. I want to thank y'all for stopping by again. This has been Delete Reviews, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.